what would be your DWM alternative for Wayland when X11 gets dropped for real? Well, RPG gaming, we're not there yet. Not even close. So probably another 5 to 10 years before that gets dropped. His Wayland still has some issues with, obviously DWL would be where the Wayland project is now, but it's just still very young and there's not very many patches and other things. But DWL is the answer to your question, but don't act like it's going to happen next year. It's just not. I mean, Wayland still doesn't have a lot of compatibility, like Synergy and some other apps I use don't really, there's not really good alternatives or mature alternatives to it. So don't think X11's just going to disappear tomorrow. Yeah, like Pop OS and I think Ubuntu's dropping X11 support out of the box, but you can just add it. That's the thing people forget about Linux. It's not like some giant company comes down from up high and says, this is what you're going to use and you're going to like it. The thing I love most about Linux is you can just, if you want to be using X11 in 10 years from now, you can use X11 in 10 years from now. That's just how Linux works. There's going to be some neckbeard somewhere that just loves X11 for some weird reason. And when all the issues I told about Wayland's gone and disappeared, there's still going to be that guy that's going to maintain X11 at some point in time and still make it work on modern hardware. Mark my words, it happens every time. So that's the beauty of Linux. You never have to worry about something just disappearing. Would you recommend an NVIDIA gamer needs Wayland because of dual monitors, 60 and 144 hertz? Yeah, I mean, some of the newer stuff, Lavro, yeah, you kind of need Wayland for a lot of this stuff, especially when it comes to HDR, sane settings for a lot of like the newer stuff coming in. Wayland's going to be probably where it's at. And you can see that on the Steam Deck. Like Steam Deck's starting to push HDR with their new OLED, and it's pretty awesome. A lot of the advancements are getting all pushed to it. So they'll eventually, drop X11 on these high-res screens. You're not going to want to use it for that, but for those people still rocking like a 1080p screen on an old system, they're probably going to be wanting Xorg. It just depends. Synergy is not a monthly subscription. If it is, there's a secondary project. I think it's called Barrier, and there's also Waynergy. There's a lot of different projects I have my eye on to replace Synergy. Yeah, high-res support's not great, no matter where you go on Linux. It's just, if you have some weird refresh settings or high refresh settings on a high resolution, scaling in Linux can get tricky. I think, obviously, if you're going to do the scaling, GNOME and KDE is probably where you want to be. You don't want to be using some like tiling window manager, as the scaling is going to get kind of funky. And yeah, you can't really do it. Yeah, and scaling is just it's a tricky thing, even on Windows, and it's something that people can get to.